Maybe from Rise Up. We don't know the work that is behind in creating an app, updating an app, and so on. Our software developer is doing this 16 to 20 hours a day. So I fully understand your point in this. I also understand the community's question in this. But can I ask you a question regarding Lily finance?
Yeah, that's cool, man. I mean, we put out a press release earlier. I don't know what you want to know, but yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I found a contract created 19 days ago by your top holder number 4. Were you aware of this?
Yeah, no, the deployer. Are you talking about the deployer for the original Lily contract?
Yes.
Yeah, that contract's trashed, man. Like they deployed their own token. That's garbage. You can throw it in the garbage. It ain't worth shit anymore. We didn't have any control over their deployment of their new token. I don't know who coded it. I don't know who deployed it. We didn't have any say so or leverage in that. So yeah, whatever that the contract that was coded and created is garbage. It's not the one that's going to be deployed tomorrow. I promise you that.
No, I know that, but my question was, were you aware of that? And you answered that, so I'm good.
Yeah. No, we coded because that was part of the original plan. Like we were going to code it and we were going to have control of the liquidity. It was going to be exclusive on SataMask. Everybody was going to, be happy and sing "Kumbaya" around the campfire and all that. And then obviously things
Real
changed.
quick, I hate to jump in, but make sure, Davey, make sure that you're specific in what contract and what wallet, because maybe he knows which one you're talking about, but let's just make sure he's not confused because you know how these things sort of play out. Next thing is Russ admits to some, whatever's going on and yada yada.
It'll be on somebody's YouTube tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah, no,
I'll
yeah, you're
put it
probably
on
right.
mine.
Yeah, someone bought a rotten banana at the store yesterday, and it said Tamaguru's fault.
Yep.
It's all
Yeah,
good though.
David, the floor is yours, David.
Oh,
No,
I thought there was one more person in
Yeah,
front of
no,
me.
we got DTC.
My bad.
Yep.
well, okay.
Yo,
Yeah, David.
yo, Russ. I was just saying. Obviously, if you've been sitting in here listening, like you've heard the room. I mean, I was bringing up that Watcher Guru article. I mean, you've got people in the comments who are essentially they're voicing the same concerns, and people who are holders. I mean, like I'm sure that I'm not the only person who holds a bag who's concerned as anybody else, but you've got people who are saying, why are we not? Why is there going to be another token? Why is there going to be, an NFT platform? Why is there going to be any of this extra stuff when we can just focus on the one token? Focus on this, focus on getting the listings taken care of that, we've been waiting on for months. I want the project to work, and people seem to think that asking critical questions is FUD. It's not FUD. I want the project to print money like it used to, but as a holder, like I want to see those gains again. I don't want to be told one thing and have that not be delivered. Nobody in
Yeah,
this space and nobody in this space wants that. People want the thing to work.
no,
And I'm of the
yeah,
same mind as well as anybody else. And
no, you're all good, man. No, I don't trust me, man. I hear it all. I don't take anything personally. This is all business for me. I'm business 24/7. And you're not the only one to express concern. Trust me. Like we try to listen to criticism and we try to do all that. Like we get it, man. We do. And we're not trying to play a game of peekaboo with anything else. Like we're saying, hey, look over here and redirect attention, to say realty or NFT platform, but we're continuing to push things out that are on a roadmap that we want to do anyways. So the Sata real or the Sata mask is still a top priority in getting that out and functional. It is crucial to our development and how we roll these other things out. You say, why do we need an NFT platform and how is it going to benefit Saitama? Well, I mean, if you look at it, you have to utilize the Saitama token, and everything that we do within SataMask is revolving around the Saitama token. You increase the burn amount. If you want to utilize certain functions of our platform, you still have to be a Saitama holder. What if you are a fan of the ERC20 platform and you want to integrate and associate and transact on that blockchain, but you hate Ethereum? How does that work? You still got to hold some, right? Even if I hated Ethereum with a passion, which I don't care. But if I want to transact with another token on the ERC20 platform, guess what? I got to have some Ethereum, right? It's the same concept, SataMask. If you hate Saitama the coin, but you want to buy this NFT that's on our platform, great. Go get you some Saitama and buy that NFT. If you want to get part of our education channel to take this, certified coursework or whatever that we offer through our portal, and you hate Saitama, that's okay too. Guess what? You got to have some Saitama to enter in that space. You don't have to
Okay,
love
so
the coin.
we've got three NFT platforms at the moment. Obviously, everybody knows OpenSea, and if you're familiar with the Solana blockchain, you know Magic Eden, and you also know LooksRare. So
And
if
they
we've
got
got these,
Vive and everything else, yeah.
yeah, and Vive along with that. Now Vive, you can't cash out on Vive, but
Yeah.
but you know, I
Yeah,
mean,
we're familiar. I mean, we also see that there's holes in a lot of those things, and there's issues. We used to use in OpenSea, and we were having such a hard time with it because we could only mint and deploy like a certain amount of NFTs, and it was very difficult for us because the fees were so high, and it was difficult for us to create collection series and all the things that we want to do on the OpenSea platform. So, okay, let's create our own that's geared specifically to what we want to do, and put it on our platform to where we can control it. And on the backside of that, we're having to utilize our native token to transact within that platform.
but I mean,
Hi, Ross.
Yo,
Hi,
guys,
Ross.
yo, D, we got a couple more hands up, big bro.
Hello.
So
This
move,
this
you
is
heard?
Real Talk. Yeah,
No, no,
I've been raising my hand for so long. Hi,
yeah,
Ross.
No, yeah, we're
guys,
going in line, buddy.
Going in order. So
Damn, you done? Damn, are you done?
I was just gonna say, you know, there are other places, there are other blockchains where, you know, obviously if OpenSea is about to integrate Solana, that's
Yeah.
gonna blow everything up on Magic Eden. The Solana blockchain is gonna end up taking over. This year, I mean, we've got things like Algorand, we've got all these other applications. I mean, the Phantom Wallet is one thing that I've been using along with MetaMask, Coinbase, all this other stuff. It
Right.
works. So
Okay.
I'm saying, how exactly is this token itself? How is this platform, along with the Watcher Guru people? If we're at this place right now with the Saita mask, how can I expect that to be any more successful than this launch? How can I expect the blockchain to be any more successful than this launch with this thing with Lily Finance that's been going on, which sucks because it doesn't look good for anybody, and it definitely doesn't look good for Brad, and it doesn't look good for the Saitama token, and it has people shook, it has people concerned, it has people asking questions. How is that going to be any better when it comes to another metaverse token, when the one token that we have right now is down 30% on the day because of the news that we got from Lily Finance?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, the state of reality is not metaverse. And the first part of that in your question, what makes ours better, what makes the other one, I could drive 5 miles from now and go to 12 different convenience stores. Which one's better? I don't know. I'm not going to go to all 12 of them. I'm going to go to the one that's most convenient. I'm going to go to the one that I'm used to going to. I'm going to go to the one that that I feel comfortable in transacting with. I'm not trying to say that we're going to put Solana out of business. I'm not saying that we're going to put every other NFT platform out there to shame. I've never said that. And I'm not saying that we're going to be the only ball player in town either. Like, there's going to be more. And it's crypto, and it's so young and so new. There's going to be probably 30 more in the next 2 years that'll pop up, right? And it's all about each individual, which they want to use and what they feel more comfortable with. And you're asking, how can you be reassured as an investor that our NFT platform is going to be a disaster, right? If we want to call our SataMask launch a disaster, right? And you're saying, oh, well, now we're just going to assume everything else is going to be shit. I mean, it's just really, it's all relative, and I guess it's opinion. I mean, we're going to continue to do what we do and try to perfect things as we go and take these things in stride and learn from our mistakes. So is there a guarantee on anything? Absolutely not. But we're going to, keep doing what we do and keep putting our nose to the grindstone and trying to make this thing happen. So, I mean, that's really all I can tell you. I'm not going to sit here and try to hold everybody's hand and, give false promises. We're just going to keep working on this thing and try to put out a solid product.
So is it my turn?
It's David, and then we'll go to Crypto Mom.
Hey, Russ, how you doing? I got a question for you. I didn't get to speak earlier in the AMA. You had to rush off to a meeting. How you doing tonight?
Good. What's going on, man?
Hey, super bullish on Saitama. Real small bag, but I'm still super bullish. Hey, but the question I was going to ask earlier. So, Lily did their announcement. SataMask did their announcement, or Saitama LLC did their announcement. So they were previously approved for SataMask under their old contract, which still exists on Etherscan, but it's the old one. We know it was launched 90 days ago. Their new contract, which launched 20 hours ago, if they were to, if they wanted to be on Saita Mask later, they would have to go through the complete application process again, correct? And be
Absolutely.
completely audited?
Absolutely. So as of today, we have no idea what that contract looks like. We don't know who wrote it. We have no idea. We are completely like separate from Lily. Like they were going to be powered on our platform exclusively, and they had their reasonings for launching on Uniswap, and I respect that. They can do whatever they want, right? We're not affiliated with that. They can do as they wish. They're their own company. If they want to then come on to SataMask, they would have to, just like everybody else, fill out an application. We would do our auditing process. We would have to make sure they meet certain criteria, give them a score. If they don't meet that score, we would go back to them and say, hey, you need to fix X, Y, and Z in order to meet our criteria. And we would go from there. But yeah, they just push right back into the cesspool of like different coins that want to get listed on SataMask.
Yeah, so your PR guy would say, "Don't answer this question," but I'm going to ask it because you tend to answer some questions that, even though sometimes your PR guy tells you not to.
Yeah, I'm brutally honest.
So
it's all right, though.
My question is because that contract was launched 20 hours ago, and that contract was absolutely done by a third party because they had to transfer ownership to Lily Token today.
They probably don't know how to code it. So
right, so they had it coded, they paid for that, then ownership transferred after the tokens were moved around to the wallets. Mm-hmm. When was the first time you heard about them actually leaving? That's my question.
When I woke up this morning. No, I mean,
okay. So more than 20 hours ago.
No,
or less than 20 hours ago.
Yeah. So I mean, they had brought up and said, hey, we want to, we need to move forward with Uniswap. And then, I had tried to reach out to them and try to offer up some different solutions. Say, hey, we're going to do this, that, and the other. Like I said, they have their reasonings for doing it. I said, whatever. We can have a more streamlined approach to this. But then woke up this morning and saw a public press release saying whatever it read this morning. Okay. So we had to put ours out.
Business decisions are business decisions. I got that. Sure. I was just curious if they told you yesterday, but it just took some time to get a press release ready, or if they just, last minute just dropped it on you. We're not doing it anymore. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, I mean, so yesterday they reached out and said, hey, we want to look at some different alternatives to cancel our current agreement and transactions or our current operating agreement so we can list on Uniswap. I said, okay, well, maybe we can do a joint press release where we can look at some alternatives. And then it was like Ghost Town Village. And then I woke up this morning to a press release. So,
okay, hey, that answers my question for me. But yeah, so, okay. Hey, enjoy your night, Russ. I'm going to stick around and listen. I'm going to drop down, guys, but I didn't have anything else to add to the group.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, and I'll probably get in trouble for saying that. But that's all right. It's me, man. I'm too honest, and I can't help it.
Can I clarify something? A question that Rise Up answered that I don't know if you completely understood. And I would suggest we sort of Rise Up. Davey, are you still here?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, so was that the correct wallet that he was speaking of? Or I just don't want him to get in trouble because he's whatever. I don't know.
No, yeah, I know what you're talking about because it was brought up by somebody however many days ago when we deployed it. So we initially had deployed the Lily token under the hood, right? We didn't inject liquidity.
No. That's wrong.
190 days ago?
Yeah, this was like weeks and weeks ago.
Well, yeah. I think Davey, is he speaking about the correct contract?
No, the contract that was created 20 hours ago and transferred 17 hours and a half ago, that has nothing to do with wallet holder number 4 in Saitama.
Nope.
My first question was about holder number 4 and why did they create Lily's contract 19 days ago. But to make things straight, this isn't the contract that is Lily gonna launch tomorrow. That's a total different contract.
Correct. The one that we deployed 19 days ago and deployed was a test contract that we put out that was never active. It never had liquidity. It never was given life, essentially. And that contract is null and void. It's garbage. The one that was deployed, I'm assuming, I haven't seen it, but is, to your standard, whatever, 19 hours ago or however many hours ago. I have no idea who did that code. It's not us. We didn't deploy that. And I'm assuming, right, it was probably a third party if they transferred ownership right afterwards.
Well, regarding to that wallet, you have nothing to be afraid of. That has nothing to do with Saitama.
Right.
But I already forward this to Anime. I am fully investigating this, and it already led me to 3 rug pulls on Ethereum. So for Lily,
cool.
it's not looking good.
Well, I mean, come on now. We've all been in crypto for a long time. How many, and I'm just going to speak very generally here, how many times when you do a third-party contract deployment does that contract deployer not put in a back door that bleeds Ethereum? Anybody?
Well,
Or put some odds on it? I don't know. I'm just speaking general. I've just been in this space for a
at the
while.
same time, he could have been a legit developer that's just a third party creator, and
Sure.
you got to look at it both ways. You know, he could
Yeah,
be a
absolutely.
legit developer. He's just outsourced. He did the contract. I'm going to transfer it over to you guys. You guys are going to pay me, and at that point, the project rugged, or he could be a part of it. Russ, can I just ask you one question? Was anybody on the Saitama team ever aware of Brad's Lily's federal RICO Act that he's going through right now?
Yeah, I mean, it came to our attention much, much later in the partnership. And we kind of looked into it a little bit and, of course, had conversations with them and say, hey, what's this?
And the RICO Act, which is just a whole racketeering and
Mm-hmm.
organized crime. I mean, was there any doubt in your mind or anything going through your head that he might go to jail and all our Saitama holders that are invested in the project might actually get screwed at one point or another?
Yeah, I mean, so we brought it up to our legal team and said, hey, is this kind of something that we should be aware of? Is this something that we should be, on the fence about? Is it something that we should just think about, canceling the thing? And we were, given the impression and advice from our legal staff that it's open investigation, but as far as from our partnership and how that works, that it should be fine, right? I mean, it's one of those things. It's kind of like an inherent risk, but at that point in time and the information that we had on it, it wasn't something that was going to be like a deal breaker to where it was like, oh no, this is absolutely going to look bad if it goes south, right? And that we just took the, advice from our legal team and they kind of looked into it on their end.
And then one last question.
Man, hey, you hopped in front of people, man.
Yeah, bro. I
Got
think
your
Crypto
question.
Mom was
Exactly.
up next.
Yeah,
No
Nico,
cutsies. No
Nico,
cutsies.
I'm sorry. We got Crypto Mom, and then we have Chokin, and then Mosey.
So
One question.
thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm the only woman up here, and there's a tendency of a woman to try to comfort and reassure and fix where we're bleeding. And I was listening to you carefully, Russ, when you said, you spoke about the money that the devs have to inject into the project to keep it going. And while that may have gone over lots of people's head, you know, that really annoys me that is happening this way. And my question to you, I mean, I was hoping against all hope that Lily was going to come on board. We had a nice beefy marketing wallet, and we were going to be able to share access with that wallet with them, given our close relationship. But you know what? They ended up jumping ship at the last minute, so we don't have that luxury anymore. But my question to you is, how much further ahead would Saitama be if we had a marketing wallet? And is it possible that we, the holders, could allow you? I mean, I know we've renounced the contract and everything. Is there any possible way that we could move the contract around a little bit so that we could get some money for marketing, if it would make a difference? Because I know you guys, I mean, money moves everything. We want this SATAMAS to work, and if it's money that's holding us back, come on guys, we've got to chip in and help out and make our contract work. So please answer my questions.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate the feedback and obviously the support. So we can't alter the smart contract. If we wanted to, we would have to wait until the liquidity unlocks in May, and even then we would have to go to like a V2, and then we would have to figure out how to airdrop 320,000 plus people their tokens, and that would be an absolute disaster. So I don't know if we would want to anyways, right? And just to add a marketing wallet, and we want to be self-sufficient, right? We need to be self-sufficient as a company. When people ask, well, how much longer do you think you'll be able to inject your own funds into Saitama to make it worthwhile and to progress before that well runs dry, right? Before the development team or other people are like, you know what, I have put too much money into this thing, I'm just going to stop, right? Like that's something we don't want to do. We have a business plan that we have to follow to generate our own revenue. So when we have the NFT maker, the Saita maker, the Saita mask, the different platforms, the microtransactions within the wallet, these things are revenue generating, right? We have small forms of revenue streams, through merchandise and stuff like that. We don't have much overhead because we've already footed the bill for so much stuff. So we just need a little bit of revenue on top just to progress things further. And you ask if we had X amount of money, right? If we were just to say Tom was to walk into $10 million right now, would it make things quicker or move along faster? No, because anything that we've needed to do, we've done because we know it needs to get done and we've just paid for it. So Max was like, you know what? We were really overworked with the Saita Mask. They already had a team of 10 engineers, right? Like it would be so much easier if we had an additional 5 engineers, because they've been working, 18, 20-hour days. So we just made that happen. We hired on, an additional team of engineers to try to speed up this process. And we just, that's the nature of the business, right? It's just like you find a need and you fill it and you just kind of deal with it later on. Like, hey, you know what? This needs to get paid. We need to bring these people on. Let's just do it. And we did. So, but moving forward, we don't want to have to sustain that, right? That's not a professional business practice to sustain longevity, is to continue to inject money into it. That's why businesses go bankrupt. But, there is light at the end of the tunnel. We're like, okay, we can self-fund this thing for as long as we need to keep this going, but we're really right there to where we won't have to, and then we can be self-sufficient, and then we can start doing some other things and creating some new options and partnerships and things like that. Now, if we had, I don't know, for example, like a token that had like a 12% marketing wallet or something, right, that just automatically filled up with millions of dollars every day. Yeah, I mean, we could probably sponsor the Lakers if we wanted to, and get that kind of exposure. But again, like we're trying to do things a little bit more organically and have a different approach to it. Does it mean that it takes a little bit longer? Yeah, but it's done in the right way too, where we're trying to really create something. And look where we're at. We have over 300,000 holders, and we've done that with a zero marketing wallet. So it's more genuine, right? And you help when you build it, so it's not artificial, and that in itself has a lot of value. So hopefully that kind of answers your question, but we'll get there.
Thank
Yeah, I'm
you.
not worried. I'm not worried about the money. It's fine. We'll get there. We have revenue streams upcoming, and yeah, you're right. I mean, the Lily would have been nice to have a little pocket change or some marketing wallets or transactions to help push things along. But hey, it's fine. It's fine too. We got too many other things that we got moving on that we can create revenue from, and marketing and deployments and stuff, and Saita Mask and stuff that, not even worried about it.
For sure.
Hey, Anime, thank you. I have to leave. Russ, could you send me a DM, please? I got a question to ask that I don't want to do in publicly. I want to give you an opportunity to answer in private, just to clear something up for me.
Yeah. Hold on, let me figure out how to do that.
Old guy David 2022.
Gotcha.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Next question, Mosey.
We got Faltron. There's a line, bro. We got Malcolm, then Chokin, then Mosey. If Russ is up for staying a little longer.
Yeah, okay, give me about like 10, 15 minutes, already past 11. I've been up since 6. I got to get on the road at like 5 a.m. tomorrow, too.
So your questions, please keep them short and sweet. If you want to get some answers, let's keep them short and sweet.
What's up, Russ? How you doing? Other than being tired because it's late.
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm like a machine. I run on caffeine and adrenaline. That's my day.
Man, I drink like 6 to 8 cups of coffee a day too, just looking at crypto. So I feel you.
That's it. That's the military mentality. Shitty coffee and no sleep. Let's get it
Yeah,
done.
brother. What were you in? What service were you in? The Navy?
I was in the Navy for 8 years. Yeah.
Yeah, me too, bro. I don't know if you heard that.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was over there in Yokosuka, 7th Fleet.
Oh, there you go.
But man, so first of all, I just want to thank you for coming through the space. I didn't even see you down there, but you popped up and clearly took it over, man. I just want to thank you for that because clearly we have questions and people are upset, people are happy.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for coming through. That's one thing I've loved about you, and being former military myself, like we love transparent leadership, right? And every time you get on the mic, I think a lot of people are just like, yeah, I'm throwing more cash into Saitama. I don't care about the charts, right? So I want to
lead from the front, man. That's how you got to do it.
yeah, like your profile picture and everything, bro. You're just right there. You handle all the FUD. I love it. So I've got a question. So my question is more on the positive side, brother. I'm not going to hit you with anything negative. What I want to know how happy you are with the execution of your roadmap that you've given us. Can you speak on that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously our roadmap has been fairly chameleon. Like we've gone in so many different directions, and we keep injecting and changing things and moving stuff around. But I feel like as far as progression goes, like we've just been knocking things off one at a time, like faster than we kind of thought. And realistically, we're now playing catch up in a lot of different areas because we've grown so fast, and that's okay. I mean, I love it. It's a good place to be. But from like on a regulatory standpoint and compliance and things like that, we're having to really play catch up now. And as we enter into the to the exchange world as a decentralized platform, there's a lot of things that need to go on behind the scenes that people also don't really think about, from legal side. So now we're trying to do all these different things and play catch up with that. And not that we're, not in compliance or we're breaking the law, because we're not. But we just want to make sure we're going above and beyond, and making sure our ducks are in a row. But as far as our roadmap and our progression, like we're moving at a tremendous pace. If I could change, obviously, anything, it would be that we could have gotten Saita Mask out earlier, but I'm not going to fault anybody for that. I'm not going to be one to fault Max and the engineering team for taking the extra step to do it the right way. Like that's not something I would ever do, and I'm not, at that level that they are where I could easily just step in and be like, "Don't worry, guys, I got this," because it would be a disaster. Trust me. So I got to let these guys do what they know how to do, and and have full faith that they're doing things the proper way, because that's what they are. They're very intuitive to that aspect. So roadmap progression, like I think we're just knocking things out of the park left and right. I would have liked to have a few more exchanges under our belt.
Right.
That's without a doubt. But we've hit some, I don't know what it is, man. I really don't. Like we're in talks with all these different exchanges, and I think they will list us right after they see the Saita Mask platform rolling out without a hitch.
Right.
I'm not big into conspiracy theories, and I'm not here to play the pity card, but I feel like every time we come around the corner, we're getting sideswiped. And I don't know if it's because people are trying to push us down or they want to see us fail. Whatever it is. Like I said, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist guy, but yeah. I mean, I see a lot of these, and forgive me for saying this, shit coins on some of these top 5 exchanges that just don't belong there. I mean, can you really sit there, like, from a centralized exchange standpoint and say, oh yeah, this coin right here, this my grandma's underwear in you has more utility than Saitama? Like, no, get out of here with that shit. But again, that's just me speculating. But we'll get there. I mean, like I said, I think they're probably just waiting for some for our utility and our platform to roll out. I mean, we have the volume, right? I mean, we're between $10 and $30 million almost every day. It would be foolish for them not to put us on their platform to get a piece of that, commission. But hey.
Right. So they're just looking at the sex. They want to see it working. They see the volume. They see the holders, and they're just waiting on Saita Mask to work. Right.
Yeah, I mean, that would be my theory. Again, it's a theory, but it's a very educated guess.
Okay, and then last question, bro, really quick. So the liquidity from Uniswap, can you touch on that a little bit and how that affects us?
I mean, so the Uniswap is a constant shuffle. People buy, people sell. It gets removed, it gets added. That's how the liquidity kind of takes place. We have liquidity locked in there, obviously, until May, and then when we get closer to May, we'll look to either relock it for an extended amount of time, depending on where we're at with our own blockchain development and all that. But there is, a large part of what we want to do is to migrate that liquidity into Saita Mask, because that is our platform, and that's where we're going to be transacting and utilizing our token for. So we would like to eventually migrate it all over onto our platform and then put it onto our own blockchain.
Russ, thank you for your time, brother.
Thanks, Malcolm. Choke and then Mosey. Make it quick, guys, please.
Hey, Russ. Appreciate the opportunity you give me to ask this question. Sir, respect you and what you're doing. And unfortunately, sometimes somebody has to ask the tough questions. So please don't take any disrespect to the question I'm going to ask you. It's two parts. I'll get it out real quick, and then I'll allow you to answer. Okay. My question is, what is it like to have a beautiful wife that defends you and respects you and stands up for you? And also, what's it like to drive a Lambo?
No, yeah, I mean, you guys
He's
probably
fun.
see my wife on Twitter. She's a little bit of a, she's a handful, and she ain't got no filter, but that's what I love about her, right? Because she didn't take no shit from nobody. You know, and her and I had the same upbringing. Like, neither one of us came from a silver spoon, man. We both had rough childhoods. We came from nothing, and we've been married for a really long time, and we keep that with us. We're very modest, and we don't forget our grassroots. So she's a little bit more savage than me, man. She comes off a little strong, but she don't take no shit. So you know, I gotta tell her like, hey, we gotta chill out a little bit. But no, it's real, man. We're real ass people, and that's what happens. You get real when you deal with real people. So anyway, so yeah, so that's nice. But Lambo, it rides like a skateboard with a rocket ship on the back. I would
It's
not
awesome.
drive it on a road trip. For one, it only gets like 8 miles a gallon. For two, it's super uncomfortable to drive long term, and I would probably have about 1,000 speeding tickets. So, but it's fun.
Awesome, sir. Thank you. Have
Thanks,
a wonderful evening and keep up the good work.
thanks,
Yeah, no worries.
thanks, silly. All right, Mosey.
Oh, finally. What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Man,
What's
Russ,
up,
it's
man?
What's up, Mosey? I'm
good,
sorry,
good.
brother. We got like 40 requests, dude. So
No, trust me. I hosted. I got you, bro. I know exactly what it's like. I just wanted to say thank you, Russ. Right? Never. It's been a while actually since I've asked the last question, so I'll make this pretty quick. As much as I'd love to chop it up with you, thank you. Like, just all of that. That's all there, man. I'm not gonna waste the time. I just wanted to ask a question. Being a leader in the space, lots of people kind of come to me, and there's one thing that I think that can kind of solve a lot of things, and you do mention it a lot. So I was just hoping if you can clarify a bit on, like, in terms of like the PR team and so on. Were we sticking to like just the Twitter account and kind of like the AMAs and so on, or are we gonna have like an official team kind of coming out that's gonna handle all news rollouts in the future? If you can just dig deeper on just where we're at with that, if that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, no, for sure. So we're trying to have a structured approach, right? And it's really difficult when you're dealing specifically with crypto because it's not like a typical marketing agency or a typical PR firm that handles, retail or anything else, right? Because we deal a lot on social media. That's where people get their information from. So we're trying to have like a single source of information, like through a PR firm and a newsroom on our website where we can put out, a one page kind of breakdown of an announcement or if it's an actual press release that we want to put out on the AP Wire, like we can do that. But we're trying to also maintain some of that transparency, right? Where I come on here and talk to the people and continue that trust factor and transparency to that sense. Right? You'll never see, the CEO for Nike come on a Twitter space. It just ain't gonna happen. And I don't want to lose that edge. Like I don't want to lose that ability to do that. And most PR firms say it's the worst thing you could possibly do. But I feel that's kind of important, and it's kind of gotten us to where we are now. So I don't want to lose that. I don't want to, have that stripped from us because I like the connection with the community. Because I mean, the Wolfpack, we're 300,000 plus strong, man. We stick together. So we need someone like myself or anybody else in the dad team to come out and put our face and speak to everybody because it builds that trust. I can imagine it. It would say, "Oh, Russ, you gotta stop posting things on Twitter." But I promise you, if I like disappeared from Twitter, it would be, "Where's Russ? Where's Russ? Where's our updates? Where's our you guys come on do an AMA? You guys gotta give us some news, talk about stuff." So
Well, Russ, that's actually a very good thing I want to bring up because, obviously your time is so valuable. So I feel like you should be working more on the back end. Have you possibly thought of having an official person to where rather than you having to come on these spaces and waste your time here, you can go continue developing other partnerships and just working on the back end, and then having somebody just like come out and speak and host these spaces and kind of take care of that for you guys, who's also on like the team and knows the ins and outs. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, and we do, and we actually want to like kind of, and that's what I mean. Like we're trying to make that transition right now, and it's kind of difficult because I enjoy coming out and talking to you guys, like I do. And as far as like, it doesn't really take away from the things I'm doing, because if I had something like super pressing that I needed to get done right now, like I wouldn't be on here talking to you guys. Like if I have a few minutes, or like now if it's late at night, like I'm not gonna check the 20 emails I got right now. I'm burnt out. I'll do it tomorrow morning. So I'm like, I'm gonna come on here and talk to you guys for a little bit, as opposed to going to bed at a decent hour, right? But it's something that we're looking forward to, and probably going to build and expand on that as we kind of progress. But again, a lot of that stuff comes down to revenue generation too. Like even our PR firm, they're not free, and we have a good one, and they cost a lot of money. If we bring on a very impactful kind of out front of things marketing team, those things cost too. So as we build out and we franchise and we grow the token and grow the community out, we'll start including and introducing these aspects to it, right? And having a more formal approach, and start functioning and governing ourselves a little bit more traditional, like a traditional corporation. But for right now, we can't just go cold turkey. Right? We got to kind of wean it off a little bit at a time. And that doesn't mean that I'm going to fall off the face of the earth, because I would go through withdrawals. I got to come out and talk to people and speak to the community, because a lot of you guys have been around for a long time. I feel there's a connection there, and I can't just cut it off. And I like coming out and talking to the community and getting feedback, and whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, I don't even care. I just want to have that open relationship, that open door policy. So.
No, and that's I think part of the reason of why we all love you, man, because you have that one-on-one connection with us. So thank you, man. Thank you. I won't waste any more time.
Yeah, thanks, Russ. We'll take a couple more. Is that okay? 2 more?
Yeah, we'll do 2 more, man. That's good.
All right. What's up, Bo? And then we're gonna have the crypto bro.
Yo, what's up? What's going on, Russ? Hey, so, first question, this will help everybody in your community as far as Fight FUD. Are you related to, on the paperwork, or an owner of Lily Finance LLC, the one out of Texas?
So the question,
So
I'm going to interject
okay,
before. So sorry, Russ. So that's been going around. There's been a lot of FUD about it. Do you know anything about the backstory on that?
Yeah, of course. So there's 2 different parts, and there's 2 different things that we've brought up in the past, right? And it's maybe something that we can touch on again, since it's relative to the day. So the first LLC document that went out several months ago had my name on it as president, owner, whatever. That was, let's say, I don't want to say a typo, because it wasn't, but it was a miscommunication between Lily Finance and Saita LLC. Like they wanted to kind of give us a board seat on their company as part of their partnership, and we interjected and said no, it needs to be completely separate. We don't want to have any ties to that legally. The liability needs to be a line drawn in the sand where it cannot be tied back to Saita LLC. There is no dual party issue, right? It has to be you and us, totally separate. So that was actually redacted, and an updated LLC version was submitted that had my name off of it and removed, which is something I can post again, I guess, if we need to, but there is an actual official document that has my name removed on it. That was after that went out. The other document that you're talking about that's actually registered in the state of Texas is a business operating agreement, right? That is an LLC, a joint LLC filed, so we can conduct and interact and do business together as 2 entities coming together to transact and do business with, right? That's all that is. And now that the contract has been terminated, that LLC is now completely null and void.
Awesome. So that should help your community out a lot whenever they go to war on Twitter. Secondly, honestly, I'll keep this really short and sweet. I bought November 13th. That was the first time I ever bought. So you know where that was. DCA'd the whole way down, and then, had a stop loss essentially recently, right?
Sure.
Just with the unknown in the market. And a lot of that was due just, the market is shit right now, or it was, end of December, all through January. Everything was bleeding out, not just Saitama.
Sure.
However, and I understand that Saita Mask is, it's a big deal. Okay, it's not just like you said, push a button and we all get what we want, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what so you've got your coins lined up. You know, we've got it all downloaded. I understand the whole beta process and then hitting the real blockchain and the problems that you're currently having. Like, is there because I haven't been in the AMAs, but is there a good time frame maybe that people could expect? Or, and it kind of goes back to the whole thing, like, man, it just seems like Saitama is doing so much as far as, well, you know, SataMask isn't working, but I guess maybe y'all are close. So let's roll out Sata Realty and let's start, you know, rolling out this NFT platform, because I know all those things were on SataMask anyways, along with the education and the social, and the road goes on, right?
Yeah.
But it just seems like, you know, to a lot of people and investors alike, it's like, shit, man, can we just get what we need first, you know, and then move on? Because
No, I hear you, man. I do, trust me. And I don't, you know, I don't have a lot of time to like correspond on social media and reply to everybody and do all that stuff. And you know, let's be honest, Twitter has become super toxic lately, anyways. And I don't surround myself with that stuff because it's just bad juju. But you know, I get feedback from people, and entering spaces like this, I get feedback, and I'm not one to, you know, shy from criticism, right? That's what makes us stronger. So I understand exactly what you're saying. It's saying, hey, how come you guys are rolling out this other stuff and getting previews of this stuff, and we don't even have a functional SATA mask, right? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, I get the mentality of it, I get the thought process, and I wouldn't be doing that and putting these things out if we weren't close to releasing the SATA mask. Let's just put it that way. So these are just previews of things that we're going to be rolling out on SataMask when it comes out. But you can't buy Sata Realty right now. You can't swap NFTs. It's not functional yet. We still got to beta the NFT platform and stuff like that. And we haven't even deployed the Sata Realty token, but we want to start marketing it because we do have a lot of big money that's going to be coming into it. So they've also requested to see the white paper. So if I'm sending the white paper out, you know, to these different real estate developers, why not send it out to my community? Let them see what's going on too. So, anyways, we don't want to put timelines and stuff. I think we've essentially kind of learned our lesson the hard way on that. So I won't sit here and tell you that, you know, we're going to release SataMask, you know, in the next, you know, 96 hours or something. But I also wouldn't be putting out teasers for these things that rely on SataMask to live if we weren't close to releasing it. So you can kind of take that as you will.
I believe after you have SataMask working, then, you know, I think that's the only thing holding y'all back from major listings personally. And that doesn't have any, you know, I've never spoke to you. So obviously that's just my own opinion. But, and I've always said, like, you know, I think from SataMask, like I've told people, don't get offended, and I told the people this in the community, don't get offended, but I think from what SataMask is doing, they're trying to usher in the younger crowd, right? That's where their focus is going to be, on teaching them about finance, because it's been said over and over time, like read between the lines type of thing.
Yep.
But yeah. So also, I would just say you should probably head over to the Grandpa Apes Country Club and grab you one. There's a couple that look just like you, man. They're balling out, and I think one of them even drives a Lambo.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, we got.
I think so.
And we got some pretty amazing NFT stuff coming up. I know, you know, and Gabe's got his Wolfcaster game and some other like 3D games and stuff that we're working on. There's so much stuff that we're working on too, partnerships and collaborations. Like, you guys are gonna be just blown away like by the stuff that we're gonna be rolling out this year. And I'm not trying to create hype and do all that. I'm just being genuine, man, because I'm excited about it. But yeah, and I mean, and yeah, buying on, and a lot of times like it's tough, man. And you have a pretty positive outlook on that, so I can appreciate that. You know, buying at the all-time high, and you know, instead of being like, you know, "F you, Russell, you're a turd," and I lost all this money. You know, dollar cost average down is the smartest thing you can do. And if we're looking at all-time highs, you know, on November 13th, you know, where we're going to be at the end of this year, that all-time high is going to be like, what is that thing down there? Like, what was that? Oh, that was our last all-time high. So I'm not really too worried about it, and I hope that, you know, that true investors and people that know the market and crypto aren't worried about it either, because it's long-term. You know, that's where we're headed. You know, and I did want to touch briefly too, like the gentleman that I was speaking to earlier was talking about reflections and the NFT and stuff. And like, well, you get 2%, or you know, on the reflection side. And like, well, that's not a lot of money. But okay, I mean, of course, it depends on how many you hold. Right? The more you hold, the more reflections you get. And let's just say at our current price, you get 10 billion tokens every day or two, right? And you're like, okay, well, 10 billion tokens, it's not like $100, $200. Okay, but now you get 10 billion tokens and our price drops to zeros. Now how much are you getting every day, right? So people have to understand that too. It's all relative to what the coin value is. So yeah, I mean, we're, in a bunch of zeros and the twos. So sure, the dollar value ain't going to be very much, but I promise you, hang on to those 10 billion coins you've earned for long enough, whatever reflections you're getting somewhere else is going to be, it's going to be smoked. But it's all about perspective. So
For sure. All right, we'll go to the last one, Crypto Bruv.
Hey, thanks, Russ, sir. I know you're getting ready to get some rest and much needed rest. Just two things, not a question. The first thing I want to say, and I hope this will echo in your mind as you sleep and just as you go about the rest of your life, not your day, but I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you to you and to the team, the dev team, and everybody behind you. Man, what you guys are doing is amazing. How you guys have dealt with everybody and everything is honestly amazing. I mean, it's so easy to watch a basketball game or a soccer game or whatever sport and sit on your couch and be like, man, how could they miss that goal? Man, how could he miss that dunk? Man, how could he not do that? But what a lot of people don't realize is you might think you have a great idea and all that, and you can do better until you get out there on the field and realize, man, you can't even play with the rest of those people. You don't even belong on the field. And so I come from that perspective in the sense that, man, I know I can't do what you're doing. A lot of people might think they could do better, right? They might think they could have the best advice and all that until you get out there, until you get out on the field. So I come from that mindset. And so that's why I say thank you so much. What you're doing is not easy at all. It's easy to be the armchair quarterback and think you can do better and you know better and you've done this and that or whatever. I come from a place where, man, if you think you can do better, do it. Do it then. So
yeah,
I,
it's true, man. I appreciate the perspective, and and there are a lot of things that like I don't say, and I'm very open and honest, to an extent, but I always maintain that sense of professionalism. But you're 100% right, man. It really is. It's tough, and I say it all the time too. Like, if it was easy, and I even mentioned it a little bit earlier, like if it was easy, everybody would do it. We would have 20 billion market cap coins floating around in the space left over right. Like it would be everywhere, and there's a reason why the success rate of especially DeFi coins is so small. That margin of success is so small, because usually the good ones are there for a while, and it's not because their use case is solid. It's not because they're having an amazing platform. It's the community, it's the development team, and more importantly, it's the adversity. That first hiccup, that first sucker punch, it crumbles people, man. It really does. And you can be the strongest team, the strongest community, but if you can't overcome that first little obstacle, you're not going to make it, man. And it's saddening because there could have been so many great potential projects out there that could do really well. They just never got past that first sucker punch for whatever reason. And that could be a multitude of different things. But yeah, I mean, it is difficult. But yeah, you're right, man. And we hear it all the time too. We just tend not to listen to it, especially when Saita Mask came out and we had a few issues of it. Like, you'd be surprised how many IT professionals approached us and like, hey, did you guys try this, and this? Did you
right.
try Control Alt Delete, or did you try turning it off and turning it back on again? Like, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we didn't think about that. Maybe we should. But no, these guys are the experts of what they do, man. They really are. Yeah, but it's funny. Yeah, I see YouTube videos and stuff all the time. Like, people criticize and like, oh, well, this is how they should have done. This is how it should have been done, and this is how it should be done. And it's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
It's
I don't know
easy.
what to tell you.
It's so
Yeah,
easy to sit on those sidelines and be like, "Oh man, this, that, and the third, and whatever." And no, it's not that easy. Everybody would do it. I'd be doing
yeah,
it. I'd be doing it, but I can't. And so I
yeah.
want to say,
And it's not to
thank.
say that we haven't like made mistakes, right? Because we're very
Right.
modest. We understand that we could, if looking back and reflecting, right, we're like, okay, well, maybe we would have done this differently, or maybe we would approach this a little bit differently. And we're not to say that mistakes haven't been made. We're not that foolish. But what we do is we learn from them.
Yeah,
And we
yeah,
try not to duplicate the same mistake. And people are like, well, you guys have duplicated the same mistake. You said you were going to do this, and it never came out. I mean, maybe right, maybe not. I don't know. It's just we just have to make the best out of each situation and move forward and progress. Right. That's how we maintain our focus. Like we just keep moving forward and progressing, and we'll get to where we want to go.
yeah. I
It
agree.
just takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, we're behind you. I want to let you know that, and we've got the grace and the patience for you because we know it's not easy. And I just say any apologies to those people that don't have that grace and that patience and understanding with this. Hopefully, they will come to that as we all grow and be better human beings. But once again, thank you, sir. Thank you, and have a blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thanks. So that was the last. I'm gonna take off. I just wanted to kind of leave you guys just a little. I mean, there's gonna be some adversity, even more so. I feel like I don't think that's ever gonna go away. We're gonna continue to look adversity in the face and have to, navigate around some things. But I mean, if it was a straight line, if it was easy, man, everybody would do it. So we just got to roll with the punches and keep going because we have a game plan, we have a vision, and I know that it sometimes feels like it's scatterbrained and it's all over the place and there's no methodology to the madness. But I assure you, this is very strategic in a lot of things that we do. Sometimes the strategies that we lay out don't play out exactly how we planned, and sometimes there's outside forces that kind of deter us off our path. For today, for example, well, that doesn't mean anything. It's just a little speed bump, man. We still power through. We still push through. And, nobody's raising a white flag. If anything else, it just gets us up a little bit earlier to work a little bit harder. It kind of defeats the purpose of the day when we have to take time to rectify silly situations because it is counterproductive to what we want to do. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't need to be addressed. It's like, okay, put this on pause. Let's fix this, and then back to business as usual. So that's what we'll do. Hit the pause button, fix it, and then resume daily business and get shit done. So we're all about getting shit done. I know sometimes it can be frustrating, and I feel the frustration, man. I do. I get it. I totally understand it. And I'm not even here trying to tell you that it's not legitimate. Because if there's one person here that's more frustrated than anybody else, it's me. Because I got to, face the adversity and answer the tough questions. And I don't have a problem with that. But I still feel it, right? It would be so much easier if I could just wake up one day, just one day, without 1,000 messages and 400 missed calls about something that went wrong, right? Or something that didn't go according to plan. That's the day I dream of. But that's okay because I understand that that's not realistic. Because if that was the case, then we would be doing something wrong because we have to have hiccups to help us grow. We have to have some adversity to make us stronger because if you don't face the adversity, then you kind of get you get into kind of like a comfort zone almost where you kind of lose your edge for a little bit and you get complacent, right? So it makes you kind of realistic in what your expectations are moving forward, and it makes you work just that much harder to get to where you want to be because when you finally get there, it'll be so well deserved that it's not like, man, this was the easiest thing I ever did. It's like, no, I earned that shit. I'm here at the top. We earned this spot. Like, this was not given to us by any means. We earned every single breadcrumb along the way, and we earned this spot. Other people might have been handed it and done whatever. No, like, we're at the top of the pedestal, and we fought tooth and nail to get here. So I'm going to take off, get some sleep. I got to be 300 miles from here in about 5 hours. So,
Yeah, Russ. I just want to say thank you, Russ. I really appreciate it. You're more than welcome to my room anytime if you want to give me a follow back and drop in and hang out and chop it up with the Wolf Pack. I personally appreciate you, and I try to reassure everybody and fight the FUD with our FUD fighters out here in the community. And we're behind you, man. So, like I said, you're welcome anytime.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. And you guys are the best, man. I truly mean that. You guys are the engine behind this thing and make us move forward. So, nothing but respect and love to everybody out there spreading positivity, and even the ones sending criticism, man. We got love for you too. We're all in this together. Even the ones that we feel aren't with us, you're with us. You just don't know it yet. You might just have some different speculation along the way, but you're on this ride with us either way. You know, unless you're like a paid futter, then I got no love for you. But the ones that have criticism, hey, you're with us. Either way, you just got a different seat. You know, we're partying up front, and you're kind of hanging out, waiting to see where you want to sit. But we're all gonna party in the end. That's all that matters. So I appreciate you guys, and we'll talk soon. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks,
All right,
Russ.
Russ.
All right, guys.
Damn, Big
Man,
Dom.
how
Big
dope
Dom the
was that
boss.
shit?
Big
That
Dom the
was dope as
boss.
shit.
The space boss. I'm gonna call you Space Boss.
That's what's up, yo.
Let's
Oh
go.
shit.
Banana, you adding to that bag, bro?